Hello everyone, welcome back for a brand new series. We are Carol and Ken and we like touring in our Consort Nova Motorhome. In this episode we're hitting up some of our favourite National Trust properties in the southeast of England. So grab a coffee, sit back and relax and let us show you around. Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new trip in Snoopy.
But first of all, we're off to one of our favourite National Trust properties. See where this van in front goes for parking.
Yeah. But mind you might not have been here before.
Well, no, I think it's a foreign van actually.
Oh, right, okay.
From Austria, so maybe don't follow him.
The best tip there. Okay, we all set?
I think so.
Coming in.
Yeah.
Got it? How many times do you think we've been here then?
Oh, I wouldn't know. More than you can count on 2 hands.
This is very local to us. So we come here a lot. The house is not open to the public because the National Trust don't actually own it. It's still in private hands. Don't remember this tree being knocked down. That tree last time we were here.
No, it's made a real big gap, isn't it?
That's massive, isn't it? Something must have been wrong with it and they took it down. Although the cut doesn't seem old, does it? Sorry, the cut seems very old.
Well, yes. Maybe there was a lot of other growth around it that we never really noticed before. Arthur Soames was the owner of Sheffield Park between 1909 and 1934. In the gardens there's a series of cascading lakes joined by ornate bridges.
Now this is a particularly impressive tree. Look at this. I assume it's just one tree that has sprouted all these different branches. So back on a sign back there was some waterlilies, and then the sign read that they'd featured in Monet's painting because he liked to paint waterlilies. But actually there's no connection at all between this place and Monet other than they're the same type of water lily. I think that's a bit tenuous myself, don't you?
It's an interesting fact.
So we're really lucky that we've got the National Trust.
Because they save places like this?
Well, yeah, but these all used to be private, didn't they?
Oh, I see.
So we wouldn't have a cat and house chance of coming in here and see it. But thanks to the National Trust existing, we can all enjoy it and they get preserved. Because all of these places would have gone to rack and ruin by now, wouldn't they?
Well, people wouldn't be able to afford to upkeep them, would they?
No. This is spongy. Doing. It just reminds me of that place in France where we walked across the river. Do you remember?
That's Sully, yeah.
Yeah, Sully-sur-Mer.
In the deepest part of the lake, the water lilies have 6 to 7 feet of water underneath them. This giant redwood was struck by lightning during Storm Eunice on the 16th of November 2022.
That's what happens when you're the tallest tree in the forest.
And it had been growing here for 140 years.
Blimey. Not used to it being so noisy here, are we?
No.
We're normally here out of season.
During the week when the schools aren't on holiday,
yeah.
It's a lot quieter.
There's some kids stuck up a tree back there.
We didn't offer to help to
Well, a kid was so far up the blooming tree, I'd have had to climb up. He was all right, he was being guided down by his mum. Wonder what that net's for. That net must be to stop the deer coming in. So behind me here is the Sheffield Park cricket ground.
It was the 3rd Earl of Sheffield who had a passion for cricket, and he hosted many matches here. The first one was held in 1845. It was a local match between two villages, Fletching and Chailey. A notable fixture was a match against Australia in May 1896. It was attended by 25,000 people, including His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, who later became Edward VII.
And apparently they had banners all the way up the road from the station.
These are original rollers used at the ground. That's solid granite, that little one.
Blimey. So there's a tree over here with an iron girdle around it. Let's go and have a look.
This is known as W.G. Grace's tree because in July 1883 he hit this tree when he hit an enormous 6.
And way in the distance there you can see they're mowing the strip of the cricket ground. So that's quite a whack. It's well and truly consuming the girdle now, isn't it? Can you imagine it? 25,000 people here.
Quite a crowd for a small space, really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I bet they had lots and lots of beer.
Yeah, and they had a couple of grand pavilions here as well.
Right.
Yeah, the ladies had their own pavilion.
Of course. I hope they had one for the pork pies. What's the score here then?
This is showing you what Lord Sheffield's pavilion looked like. Beautiful ironwork.
They knew how to do it back then, didn't they?
Yeah, and it had a glass roof that you could get up to via a spiral staircase.
In the Second World War, this place was given over to the Canadian Armed Forces, and they caused a right old mess, obviously, because it was their headquarters and they had to garrison all their troops here, ready for the invasion of France. And the original owner of the property, when he got the property back, decided that it was too far gone to save, so he put it up for sale pretty quickly after that. So this was in the heyday of when we used to tell nature what to do instead of allowing it all to grow wild like we do now.
And the wind's getting up.
Don't know what these leaves are. They're massive in comparison to your hand. Charlie Brown has found a camp, and judging by all the toys and things, it's obviously for some sort of group that comes here. I think that's just a bit of scrap, isn't it? It's not a game. That's not part of a game, is it?
The wooden seating in this new area that they're designing has been made from oaks that fell during the 1987 Great Storm.
Right, we've nearly seen most of it, I think. Here's the last lake. Very scummy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all the dust that gets kicked up. Looks like oil on the surface, but it's just dust.
Red pandas.
Oh yeah.
And the connection is Nepal because the rhododendron forest.
It's obviously just for the kids this, but adults can learn a lot from it as well. Because I would never have associated this tree with Nepal. Oh, there's books here, Bunny.
Yeah.
Carol can't resist a good book sale.
They've also got a bookshop in where the cafe is.
Anything you fancy?
Nothing's jumping out at me.
Your cauliflower pasty is leaking.
Is that mine?
Yeah. Nice to sit down.
Oh, we got a well wonky table.
Don't worry about it. I'll put my foot on it. Oh, what a terrible pourer. It's causing a right mess coming out the lid. I like the National Trust spicy cauliflower pasties. They're much nicer than their normal pasties.
I really enjoyed that visit to Sheffield Park. Did you?
Yeah, it's very good. So are we ready to move on to the next one?
Certainly are.
Okay, let's get going. Well, one crafty little nap later and we are ready to go to the monk's house.
Look at that. You can't see that, do you? Hi. Hello.
This is all very quaint.
It's nice, isn't it?
Without a ticket, do you? Could you have a hope in hell of getting in?
It's very busy.
It's mega busy.
The garden, there'd been a lot of rain and the garden just ran into the house. So the first thing they did with a bit of money was to put in the drain there, because you'll see that the house is lower than the garden. In fact, Angelica, many of you have probably heard of Angelica, Virginia's niece, Vanessa Bell's, she hated going in that room because Virginia loved green. And there's a lot of stuff in there, and she always said she felt as if she was going into a fish pond, because she was going down into the fish pond. So my goodness, it is getting busy. So the conservatory, Virginia never saw that, I think I've said, because in his later years, Leonard was just an obsessive gardener, but he couldn't, agility-wise, he couldn't get to the top of his garden, his greenhouse. They altered the roof, built into the roof. They built an extension, the famous room, which we'll see, which was Virginia's room of her own, if you like, her bedroom, which was her writing room, that she turned into a bedroom. It's a separate entrance. Her writing lodge at the bottom of the garden, and so much more there. So it very, very much was the house that evolved with them. In fact, so much so they said they wanted to live here forever, and they got their wish, because Leonard put Virginia's ashes in the garden when she died, And then when he died, his then partner Trekkie, honoured his wish. So their ashes are in the garden. So I think, interestingly, Leonard always was interested in the narrative of time. He said, we're just passing through, and yet they've ended up, nobody's passing, it's just them now. Yes. And she brought her staff down, and she sharp told them she didn't want them because she didn't like them living in the house. And of course also times were changing, the women were starting, they'd helped out in the war, etc. They were starting to not answer back, but didn't necessarily want to be spoken to in a certain manner. So she said she didn't want them here. They probably went hooray because there was no running water. So what they did then is the next investment was to buy 2 little cottages in the village. So they always had somewhere for a gardener, and they always had somewhere for a cook/housekeeper, and they were always employed from Rodmell. She brought to the house the people she wanted to have in her company, I think. I don't suppose the likes of me would have been invited, but she, Ian Forster, T.S. Eliot, that's character type of people. Anything that could feed her intellect. In fact, in the lounge, T.S. Eliot, his chairs are all there where they used to sit around the fire. T.S. Eliot one night asked her, he said, I've written something, Virginia, I'd like your opinion, can I read it to you? And that was the first reading of the Wasteland happened in this room.
Probably effect if you could see the microwave and so on.
So they would have had that bit as well?
They would have had that bit as well. Originally when they bought the house it only went as far as the screen and then they extended it a couple of years later. But that's the part that's now been modernised.
Very claustrophobic, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but can you imagine them living here though? It's a lovely place to live.
So we're all waiting to go in the bedroom.
This is going to be a sort of sitting room come writing room. But after they put it all together, they realised it didn't quite work for Virginia. She didn't really like it. She didn't like sleeping up there. So they kind of flipped it on its head and made that a sitting room, this a bedroom, and then they built the writing lodge, which is at the end of the garden. So I hope you'll go and have a look at that before.
Seems lighter in this bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, 2 big windows. Because this wasn't meant to be a bedroom, it's possibly too light to be a bedroom in a way, because it's and there's nowhere to put a bed either. You can't. There's no headboard. But she really enjoyed it. She did a lot of work here. She'd wake up in the night and use the little notebooks to write ideas down. On a wet day, she'd sit in the chair here and write with a board on her knees. And if the weather wasn't so good, if the weather was better, she would walk up to the writing lodge at the end of the garden. So, but this is her room of her own, really, in that you can't access this room in any other way but to leave the house and then come back in here. So it's
gave it a private.
So yeah, this is it, and she really liked it. It was Leonard would bring her coffee in the morning and the post, and they'd sit and talk together, and then she could work all morning and then spend the afternoons walking or cycling and reciting the lines that she'd written. So, but it was all about the focus for her writing. This room and this.
Is it haunted?
Is it haunted? I've never heard of it being haunted, but I think there is a peace in this house which I think is encouraging, really. But
Do we know what it was that drove her to commit suicide?
she always had mental health problems. She probably had what they now call bipolar disorder, and so she would have periods of highs and periods of lows. She had tried twice to take her own life when she was a younger woman, when her father died and when she first married Leonard. They weren't successful, but she had a history of trying. And then she felt another depressive episode coming on her in March 1941. Leonard by then had almost become her carer because she could have periods of being very unwell, and she took the decision. It wasn't about getting away from Leonard, but if you look at it in the context of what was going on in the country at the time, the war was raging, the uncertainty of war. We know how it ended, but they in 1941 didn't. They never intended to be here all the time. They'd had to leave London because the London house was bombed. So they had to be here all the time through a long winter, the uncertainty. The diaries talk about bombers coming over, dumping bombs on the way back to the continent. Leonard was Jewish and his name was on Hitler's list. They'd made an agreement that should the country be invaded, then they would take their own lives. Both of them would take their own lives. So there was all that uncertainty.
Well, that was a very tight experience all round, I'd say.
I'm glad we managed to get tickets because it was very busy in there, and you certainly have to book in advance. And it's somewhere I've wanted to go for a long time, so I really enjoyed my visit and makes me want to research a bit more about Virginia Woolf now.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I did enjoy it, but I never do like places where there's so many people, and it was absolutely packed, and I sensed people were getting a little bit frustrated not being able to get into the house. But and the other thing I'd say is it's not a great idea to go there in a motorhome. We were very, very lucky that we got parked. Well, this wasn't forecast, was it?
Not when we left home this morning, no. It's changed a bit.
Yeah. I'm sure weather forecasting was better when I was a kid. What is it? Do we know?
It doesn't look open,
I
but
wonder how that's painted.
it looks like it's going to be a
It's not your
restaurant.
average paint job, is it?
No.
Yeah, there's a sign for Argos, look.
Yeah,
Hopefully we've got what we
Hopefully.
need.
and hopefully we can park easily and not get too wet.
Well, that's not very nice.
Lovely.
Thanks a lot. Cheers now. Thank you. Bye bye. That's what we came for. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's ready cooked and it's got a chilli flavour.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
Nice and easy.
So we get some prawns to go with it.
As well.
Prawns, yeah, that'd be good. Right, we're looking for meatballs. One of our favourites. Or shall we get?
In IKEA.
I prefer the ordinary ones that we cook ourselves. Well, they go in any sauce you want to put them in, Bunny.
So we normally get the this one reduced passion fruit.
This cold weather is making us want fruit loaf toasted with butter and lemon curd. Can you see them? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Fruit loaf. Perfect.
Turn it round there? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There we
Portrait.
Yeah.
Right, now turn it on its, turn the phone that way.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
Fit more in.
Right, then you'll fit more in, right.
Yeah.
Hang on, right, let's try again. Let's get down on the same level. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Experts in selfies.
You alright? Do you want me to put you in the film?
No, I don't mind. It's up to you.
All right,
that
then.
would be better for
What's
you,
your
but-
name?
Kev.
Kev, alright. Well, nice to meet you, Kev.
And you.
Alright.
Happy travel.
Yeah, alright. Cheers. Bye. We're meeting subscribers en masse in here today. Just met Andy and his boy Kyle. Nice to meet you. Thanks for saying hello. Is it still raining? Looks like it's stopped. I don't think that's going to happen somehow. Not if it's like this. We just get soaked going there, wouldn't we? We were supposed to be going out tonight, but this weather, I think, has put a kibosh on that. There'll be other opportunities, I'm sure. Right, we got all the food, so we don't need to go out tonight if we don't want to. And now we're going to go over to Seaford and see if we can spend the night, yeah?
Yep, sounds good.
Let's try our luck. Lots of campers spend the night at Seaford, but they can be a bit weird over their parking restrictions, so you've got to keep a keen eye on that.
Sea's looking a bit choppy.
Yeah.
No ice cream van.
Not today.
Let's move down here, a bit further down the seafront. This section now says maximum height 2.1 metres and maximum length 5.5.
So we meet the length but not the height.
Not the height.
Whatever happened to the good old first come first served?
Yeah, anyone can stay.
Yeah, it's all about segregating people now into boxes. Here's our resident mob of crows. They're looking a bit bedraggled today, aren't they?
It's a bit wet for them. Oh, skibbity crows.
Wonder where they live, because they don't nest down here, do they?
No.
Well, we're bumping into subscribers today, Bunny. I just went out there to take one shot of the van, and there's two more next to us.
So that's 3 lots
within
the last hour.
Yeah. It's always nice to meet people, though, isn't it? Very interesting talking to them. They've just come all the way along wild camping along the south coast on their way to Bexhill.
It's obviously a popular part of the country for camper vanners.
Yeah. Cup of tea time, eh, Bunny?
Tea, and we're having fruit loaf and lemon curd.
Yummy. So we'll have a late dinner then tonight, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm out of practice. I started scoffing this before I'd filmed it. That's why half of it's gone. This is yummy.
I haven't eaten mine.
You haven't eaten yours? No. It's very tasty. Goes well with, what was it, lemon curd?
Fruit loaf and lemon curd.
Yeah. So I wonder if it's going to be a wet and wild one tonight.
Mm.
And we should all be in it.
That's on timer, is it?
No, it's
Oh,
just
it's
recording
video.
video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on video now, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So whenever you see us sitting in the van, that's what it is.
Oh,
Recorded,
I just
that's
put it there.
a small little thing, isn't it?
Tiny, yeah.
Yeah,
It's great.
clever.
It's a nice little gimbal, you know, so it's all nice and steady. So the beauty of that is I can put that anywhere in the van and
Oh,
get
right.
different shots.
Has that got a magnetic base then, or is it on its own?
No,
little
it's on a
such-
little stand. But I
Right.
can clip it into a tripod if I need to.
Oh, right.
So that then just makes a little base and it just stands upright.
Yeah.
Well, we just met Terry and Marie, and they're off now over to Eastbourne, see if they can find somewhere to spend the night. And it's going to be a bit of a wild one. Nice to meet you both, and good luck on your retirement. And we hope you have great fun in your Roma home. Give him away from the window.
Tonight we're going to have a spaghetti in a creamy white sauce with some salmon and prawns. And I'm going to start off by cooking the spaghetti in the high-trick electric cooker. Spaghetti's in the pan with the boiling water, and I've seasoned it with a teaspoon of this chicken stock to give it lots of flavour. I've added in the packet of prawns. Cut up this salmon, which is already cooked, so I'm just going to add that now. And that was a 1 pot meal, all cooked in the high trick, 83.7%.
Now this looks jolly tasty. You enjoying that?
It's sending to Ukraine through new investments.
Whipped
The most
lemon
notable
fool.
contribution in the package came in the form of
It's
2
very
Saab
creamy
ASCC
and
890
tart
airborne early
lemon.
warning and control planes. It's also part of the Swedish aid package.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like, hit that subscribe button and share us with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.